Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. My name is Annalise and I just started making houseplant content here on YouTube about a month ago. So if you're new here, which you probably are, definitely consider subscribing. And if you enjoy this video, definitely give it a like and leave a comment down below. So today we're going to be talking about how I take care of my plants that are living in LECA. Last week I posted a video on how I transition plants into LECA, but today we're going to be talking about the care that I give them once they're living in LECA. So there's two main things that we're going to focus on, which is flushing and fertilizing, which I'll go into detail about, but both are super important to making sure that your LECA plants stay healthy and thrive in your care. So let's jump into it. So first we're going to talk about flushing. Flushing is basically when you run water through your plants to help get rid of any minerals or buildup that may have occurred over time. So that can definitely happen with your plants that are living in LECA. If you notice any white residue on the LECA balls, that's usually mineral buildup and requires flushing to make sure they don't damage or affect your plants. I have my LECA plants in two different types of containers, so I'm going to show how I flush both of them. The first one are plants that are living in these glass containers. I have a bunch of different shapes and sizes. Here's a smaller one. And for all of my glass containers that have LECA, I've drilled a hole in the side. You can see right here, I drilled a hole, and that's to help with flushing. So I'm gonna close up on the sink so I can show you how I'm gonna flush this plant. So to start off, I'm gonna rinse the entire plant. I like to use this opportunity when I flush every couple of weeks to rinse the leaves and to check for pests. Then I'm gonna run water through this container numerous times until I feel like it's been properly flushed out. As you can see, the water does come out of the hole, which is why I like having the hole on the side. It makes it easier to flush as opposed to like having to hold all the LECA in while you dump water out. So I usually fill it up all the way with water and let it run through about 2 to 3 times until I feel like it's really flushed thoroughly. I also use this opportunity to do some pest prevention on my plants. So this is my neem spray. I think I talk about how to make it in my acclimating plants video, but I usually like to just spray my plants down every couple of weeks to help keep pests at bay. Especially in the summer when pests are a lot more rampant, it's good to get on a preventative schedule with your plants. So I'm just draining out the rest of the water. You want it to be completely empty so you can add the fertilizer in next. I'm going to repeat the flushing process with the rest of my plants, and then I'll go ahead and add the nutrient water. For my plants that are in self-watering planters, it's a little bit of a different setup. I talked about how to get these set up in my last LECA video, but I'll do a quick overview. So basically there's this catch pot, and then there is a inside pot that does have holes in it so it can access the water. So I flush it similarly. Basically I just take out this internal part and run the water through it the same way. Since they do have this outer pot, you can see the water in it gets pretty dirty, so I just dump it out, give it a quick rinse. Great. And one more plant. Okay, once my plants are all flushed out, I'm going to add in nutrient water. This is basically the equivalent of any fertilizer that you would use for plants that you have in soil or any other medium. So I have my nutrient water pre-mixed in this, I think, gallon jug. I'll put a link in the description just so you can find it. I find that it's helpful to just get a big container, pre-mix it so you're not mixing it every single time you have to flush out your plants. So the nutrients I use is this General Hydroponics series. There are 3 of them: Flora Bloom, Flora Micro, and Flora Grow. And the instructions on the back basically suggest using a teaspoon of each in, I think, a gallon of water. Yeah, a teaspoon of each in a gallon of water. So that's exactly what I do. I just put 1 teaspoon of each, and this container is already measured out to be a gallon, so that's super easy and convenient. And then I just give it a little shake, and then it's ready to go. So for the plants that are in self-watering planters, I will pour the mixture over the top until it's about 1/3 of the way up. So it's a little hard to tell initially, but you'll get used to it. But you can easily check how much you put in by lifting up the plant. For the plants that are in these glass containers, I fill up to right below the hole, so it's not gonna leak out, but there's enough water in there, enough of a water reservoir in there for the plant to use. There you go, you can see it's right below the hole there. So there you have it. That's how I take care of my plants that are living in LECA. I do that entire process usually about every 2 weeks or so. Because I have a large amount of plants in LECA, I do like to alternate. So I'll do like my living room plants 1 week and the plants in my plant room the next week, just to make it a quicker process. If you have things prepared, like I have my nutrient water ready in advance, so in between flushes, I will usually top off the water reservoir if I'm noticing that it's getting low, but that's pretty much all that I do. I don't use the nutrient water for that. I just use regular water, and then I'm refreshing the nutrient water every 2 weeks when I'm flushing. I find that my plants have done really well with this routine. So this is what works for me. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but definitely let me know if you have any LECA tips and tricks. Please leave a comment down below. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.